Hi, friends. Welcome to the Matka Chai, the 22nd episode. And I'm so happy to connect and talk to Mr. K Chandra Mouli. We will get to know a lot more about him today. It's a master series where we share experiences of different people, their lives, how the journey has been, and somewhere or the other connected to arts in some way or the other. So today we are having TK Chandramouli. Welcome, Chandramouli, to the finer side, Matka Chai.
Thank you so much, Prithvi. Thank you so much for having me, and that too. Anybody who's a teacher here, anybody who's a facilitator, I think greetings to them because they've been today what we are. I think everybody will agree is because of our teachers. And my
Yes,
profound
yes.
gratitude, ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆಗಳು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವರಿಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಗುರುಗಳಿಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನಿಲ್ಲ.
How the so happy Teachers Day to everybody. Uh, everybody who has touched somebody's life in some way or the other, uh, taught them something, given lessons. I would like to thank all our enemies first because they are the best teachers. They would have taught so much in life. And then, of course, your friends who make sure that you don't go on track. Please stay on the side track, have fun, enjoy life, which is very
Correct, correct.
important. They are the
Also, the
next
people
best
who said
teachers.
no, people who said
Yeah.
no for so many things, and I was able to do it.
Yes. So they are probably the best teachers for us. So on this Teachers Day, while we are talking, I want to know your childhood. We'll get to where you are, what you're doing, all that much later. But tell
Okay,
us a
okay.
little about your childhood.
Well, I'm not giving an inspiration or a motivation or probably not even a role model childhood for people who are listening. But I had a very rowdy and a raunchy childhood, by the way. I'm from St. Joseph's, from Indian High School. We had a large ground and we had enough time to play. And we always used to come 1 hour early to school and go away 1 hour early. I mean, later. Then most of the time walking because I used to stay in Wilson Gardens. Then we used to go to Common Park frequently, and that's how we started living with nature. That's what I found. I took up bird watching. Of course, I wouldn't want to say that we had a brewery. Today they say don't have, cigarette shops and wine stores 100 meters or 500 meters from the school, but we had a brewery right in front of our school. So you can
Wow.
imagine how the intoxicating experiences that we had. And because Continuous Stadium was nearby, I picked up sports, and our school was very, good as far as the sports was concerned. I was an athlete, so I took up my athletics, and till today, I think Mohinder Singh Gill was my coach. I took up those days high jump, long jump, triple jump, 100 meters and 200 meters were my events. Never good in studies, but then one thing, let me tell you, my friends, in school days, right from the time my teachers as well as my grandfather were a great influence, we were supposed to participate in every possible capsule that was
Activity.
available in the school. Scouts to NCC to quizzing to dramatics to poetry to debating, Hindi class, everything. You're supposed to participate. You may not win, you may not be good, but my grandfather used to say, I don't know where you will click. So go try everything. Let me see where you are good enough. And
Yeah.
I managed to get 90 marks, all subjects put together, by the way, not just one subject.
So when we see our children getting 90 marks for one subject, how
Yeah,
ashamed we are of them.
I know. My goodness, it's fantastic. But we had a fabulous school.
Uh,
Fourth standard to 10th standard completely. My 7 years after that, fourth standard was off. Even now, I think they have fifth to 10th, and then now we've got 2 more years in college. But then I moved to Christ after that. But Joseph's, I really enjoyed my life because I was given the option to be a child, the option to do what I want to do and pursue what I want to do. Of course, education was there. And one thing I must tell here is that the very first day, the principal, Father Dennis Roskina, who's still my guru, stays in Mangalore these days. I take his blessings every New Year and Christmas. He said the school will always never impart knowledge. They will give you
yeah.
education. Knowledge will come to you automatically. How can I forget this, especially on this Teachers' Day? I think great teachers that we had, and we had no uniform, so
Definitely.
that was much later for us.
Oh yeah, you didn't have uniform.
No
That's
uniform.
that's surprising, no? For a Christian school with a it comes with a tag of discipline always, and yeah, there was
Yeah.
no uniform. Wonderful, yeah. So
Lots of
it took,
discipline, of course, but then
huh,
the whole idea was, as I told you today, they're forcing, and we knew those days, my school fees, I think, was some 73 rupees a whole year, including books or whatever, and we couldn't afford uniform. So father was,
okay,
saying it's okay as long as you come to school and study. Why you have to additionally spend on, most of them were from very middle class families, so that's how they used to treat us. And then they say Saturdays you come in white, kids, white pant, white shirt. That's enough. Otherwise, you're free to wear your
wonderful,
colored
yeah,
dress.
that's nice. That's very forward thinking at that time, if you really think
Yes.
about it. Yeah. So from school, college, which college did you go into?
I moved to Christ College because I told you I was in Wilson Gardens, so it was all walking distance,
Ah,
and a lot of people from Wilson Gardens and the local areas around that area, Lalji Nagar and this Banargata Road. All of us walked to Christ College, so that was a great bonding. And my father was sure that I shouldn't go to a college that's very far off. That I have to make an effort to reach there. But then he said it's okay, Wilson Gardens. You just walk up. I mean, I didn't even have a cycle, so a lot of friends got together, and then we used to walk. And there's a lot of bonding that happened when you're
yeah.
going to the
Today,
college.
today we can't think of walking that direction.
Absolutely, not at all. And
Yeah, yeah.
second
Today
thing
it's
is
like traffic.
traffic. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the second thing, of course, sports, and then the campus. I moved from St. Joseph's, which are a large, ground and campus, to again Christ College, which again a very large campus, and nice open areas, and a lot of times and good times we had at Christ College. 5 years again, second year,
Yeah,
first year
yeah.
PU, second year PU with BCom.
So
I
BCom.
again, yeah, BCom. Moved on to NCC there also. Then I took up again. I was an athlete. I used to play for the B team in cricket, but athletics, of course, 100, 200s. No,
I think NCC gave us so much of adventure at that time, Allah. I remember I was also part of an NCC group in my college, and how much
yes.
we learned, how much of learning happened there.
Oh,
Of
really?
course, a lot of fun also.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then discipline, as you rightly said, that time school had a lot of discipline. Yes, the institutions, the father used to be very strict, and here also there was a lot of discipline. And joining NCC made sure that your life is taken care of, literally, because
Yeah, yeah,
the way that you stand, the way that you sit, the way that you
yeah,
talk, the way even that you smile and you present yourself to others. I think NCC taught us a great deal of it. And our under officer, Officer Ahmed was there, absolutely brilliant. The moment you see down, he'll say, "You're not digging your grave, man. Look up, look straight. Always look at the person in the
yeah,
eye." So this is what I learned when I was in NCC, which I think the four walls didn't teach me. And then we went for firing, point 302, and then
yeah.
line machine.
Bayonet fighting.
Yeah, and then you dislocated your shoulder. Then you stood in the sun for 4 hours. Uh, you
Yeah,
had some cold paratha at 2 o'clock with a coupon, and then you learned to drink cold tea and tea without what do you call sugar. And then the
sugar. Yeah,
annual training camp. Oh, the annual training camp completely changed my life
yeah,
perception of life,
yeah.
and then that's why today I'm very happy for being in NCC because it taught us how to actually live a life, whether it's comfort, discomfort, luxury, whatever.
Yeah, for me also, just to share, I was put as a sentry in one of the camps in near Tumkur somewhere, and there uh, I stopped the commanding officer and asked him to sign the register. Made him come
Ah.
out of the car, and my God, my under officer screamed at me. He said, "How can you do something like that?" But then the next day in the assembly, they called me and they promoted me from corporal to sergeant because I did my duty. So so much of learning.
Ceremonially,
Yeah, yeah,
ceremonially, I think.
yeah. But beautiful learning. I think
Absolutely.
these things work much later in our life. The small learnings there work much later in our life. Yes.
Yeah.
So
You
all
look
those
back.
also have become teachers some way or the other.
Oh,
So
lovely
from
teachers.
college, from
Yeah.
Christ, what happened?
Pardon?
From Christ, where did you go?
Well, after Christ, scoring only second class and third class, I scored 90 marks together, somehow managed to pass. So my father said, you can't do a CA or ICW or something. He says, we was you run the printing press. He says, I invested everything there. You come and look after the press. And evening six, I mean, Residency Road used to be closed by 6 o'clock. It used to be 6:30. Everything used to be empty. But then I took up law. I went to BMS College of Engineering, the evening
Okay.
college of law. I went and joined law because 6 o'clock. What do I do? I mean, that's exactly what I'm coming to when the youngsters are looking at here in the school and the college. The discipline was so much that we are not supposed to waste our time. We are supposed to take part in any kind of activities, morning to night. By the way, my grandfather used to kick me out of bed at exactly 5:30 in the morning. Okay, I
Wow.
used to wash my face. 5:40, I'll be out of the house. He says, "You go, run, go outside, whatever you do." He locks the gate. And he says till 6:30 you're not even supposed to come inside. You have to be outside. You have to be in nature with it. You do whatever you want. You run, jog, sit outside the compound wall, climb the tree. I don't care. Only 6:30 you'll be coming in. That
Wow.
means you're
Nice.
supposed to
Interesting.
be out in with nature for 1 hour in the morning. And that was Brahma Murta. That's what they used to say, no, Brahma Murta. And it's a nice time. He says, go do meditate, pray, say that your days to be good and all that. We used to do. College also the same thing happened. And I said 6 o'clock later, of course, you know how Bangaloreans are. We had Residency Road and Brigade Road. I had the best of the pubs and the best of the restaurants, the best of the women's colleges around that area. I could have done anything I wanted. But because the discipline that was instilled in scouts, I was a Boy Scout and then to NCC. And then my grandfather saying that I have to learn. So I decided very early in life of Prithvi that every birthday of mine, I would learn a new skill or I will learn something new or travel to a different country or travel to a new place every new year, every year. I mean, it can be not exactly in my birthday. That's why, wow. Okay, suppose
Yeah. Yeah.
I take leave on
Once
that.
a year. Yeah.
Pardon?
Once a year. One thing in a year.
One thing in a year. Either it's
Yeah.
a travel or probably learn a new skill. So that's what you learned Prathama Madhyama, then learned French
Yeah.
1 year, then you
Yeah.
went on to learn graphology 1 year, then you went on to learn yoga 1 year, then you traveled to Bhutan 1 year, you went to Sri Lanka another year, then you went to Rajasthan for the next year. So every birthday, I have to promise myself that I have to do something new, visit a new place either in India or abroad, or learn a new skill.
Don't you
Well,
think we were very lucky without the mobile phone?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But mobile phones were already there, not literally in terms of this, but then
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of the instrument. But these boys and girls and neighbors, somebody sees that immediately. Information is already in the house. Oh, this is your boys roaming around in Kavan Park. He's, chepakai tinta dene, having his group there. And then they'll say, by the time I go home, everybody knows what is happening. I said, how do you know? I know everybody knows it. So there's cycling only. They cycle or they go. It's just a matter of 10 minutes. So you're walking from Christ College, you're walking back, and then you're there eating sugarcane on the road. You're talking to some girl and you're making fun near the Nimhans Institute. He says, immediately come and says, then I'll say, boss, why, man? Nimhans is nearby. Why you want to go to Nimhans? Huh? What are we doing in Nimhans? You're eating sugarcane inside Nimhans. You're supposed to come back home. I said, how do you know? No mobile phones, but communication is so quick.
Yeah.
Somebody is going
And,
to tell them.
and people used to connect. We used to have our places to go, timings, fixed everything. You didn't really
Oh,
need the mobile. But if you take a look today, with all the communication that is there, there's so much distance in people.
yeah, that's why we always say, we are wired, but we are not connected.
Yeah, yeah, very true. So from college, you started working in the publishing industry, and I'm sure I remember meeting you somewhere around that time, probably when
Yeah, yeah,
WQ
trying
Judges
to
Press.
print some
Yeah,
posters and
yeah,
BLT
some
stuff.
posters. Yeah, yeah, BLT stuff. So
So
how
theater
did
also
theater
happened.
happen to you?
Yeah, theater happened. Sunil Sadanand and Dr. Srinivas Gowda, my gurus. Sunil one day pulled me out. We are in road track together. So he says, no, no, let's meet Srinivas Gowda. I think your English is pathetic, but I think you're a hard worker because I was quite energetic. So they said, at least backstage work you can do. I didn't know what is backstage, what is front stage, what work. I said, theater, okay, go theater. So what? So we all thought cinema theater. Then I knew, okay, theater means, okay, it's also dramatics theater. Then sit and read, and then they say, boss, hey, English is ಓದಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ನಾಟಕ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ನೀವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡು you do all this house. So they started making sure that I put the chairs in order. Then I make sure, because I was in the printing industry, some cyclostyle was there, put the papers in order, make sure the scripts are all in order. This is what I was doing, helping Dr. Srinivas Gowda in and Murthy was an advocate, and next to Hindu office on Infantry Road, Murthy's office was there. So evening they used to say, "When our Murthy office get," and then I will be doing all the errands. I started running the errands, but I'm so glad today I started doing that. But I knew where you have to start, grassroots. If you don't know where your
Yeah,
script
yeah,
is, you don't know how your script is, you don't know where your
yeah,
chairs are, where your tables are, how are you going to write a play or probably enact or act in a play or look after the front of house or probably the backstage if you don't know your basics. So I think just like you know how to ride a cycle, well, you can ride a Hayabusa, they say. So I'm very happy that day that I ran the errand 6, 7, 8 months. Uh, glorified office boy. That's what I was.
Good.
Good
That's the best learning.
learning,
And
and that's how
you mentioned
yeah,
about road track.
yeah.
What were you doing in road track?
Well, that's again, the same thing. Learning new. What happened was after the office 6 o'clock, everything closes, right? I mean, evening college was there. Then college was not there on Saturday, Sundays. Then Saturday, Mohan Pai used to be, in road track those days. And then he said, no, you must join the road track. You think of road walk. My office is Residency Road, so he says walk there. And I was, as I mentioned, I was also doing French. The idea of doing French was I wanted to earn a little extra money because my father was in Indian Express. He started Indian Express, but of course, very little income. So we needed extra money, 1 rupee or 75 paisa, 50 paisa. This is the kind of pocket money we used to get. And I used to have a cycle, and then I said, let me learn French. So I did my diploma in French, but of course, I have forgotten most of it. We had James Alunkara, one NCC lecturer, and then he was my neighbor. And then his wife, Mrs. James, used to teach in Jyoti Niwas French, and then she used to charge 75 rupees per child for 3 days a week.
Oh my God.
Basic French. I said, oh,
Yeah.
let me learn also French. I can take tuitions and then I can earn some money. It never happened. Well,
Yeah, that's that.
that's it. We learned
So
French.
since you mentioned road track, we have somebody who wants to say hi to you. I'm just adding him.
Hey, Deepu,
Hey,
how are
Mouli.
you?
How man?
Super, man.
Yeah,
Long
yeah,
time, Mouli.
Deepak.
Hi, how are I seeing you, Dips?
I hope you do remember me.
Of course, yeah. Okay, I can remember you, but I can remember you as Sushma's brother. What else I can say now?
Correct. Unfortunately, that's how most people know. Even the other day, I met a guy called Beliappa. He was like, "Oh, you're Sushma's brother. Hi, man."
So that's how it was. Well, we started Rotary Club in Mount Carmel College and Jyoti Niwas College.
Absolutely.
So, well,
Yeah, man.
to say why we were in Rotary.
A long time ago, right?
Very long time ago. Yeah, 3
So,
decades.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So both of you together, did you do any projects together, both of you? You remember, you want to
Uh,
recall?
Not really, but we went to Horsley Hills, if I remember. I don't know if you remember,
Of course,
Mouli.
of course.
Horsley Hills, you, I, Sushma, all of us.
Yeah, you can't forget the trips and the picnics and the fun that we had. Projects was great. That's another thing that introduced me to humanity. Basically, that you have to be back to humanity. We used to cycle all the way from Rotary House, collecting old papers, newspapers, and all that. Thick newspapers those days, some of them, and then used to collect magazines, film magazines. Cycle all the way to Whitefield, where there was a Divine Life School for the blind. So we used to give them, because of Braille, they needed these thick, film fair kind of varieties, Stardust kind of varieties to Braille. And then one day they told us, you're doing all these things, what did you do? You have to, the beds are not good here. If you see the paint is coming off, the children are sleeping on that. So we went to our Rotary Club and then they said, no, okay, what we'll do, the S.V. Rangasamy and company. One S.V. Rangaswamy was there, was the president of Rotary Bangalore. So what he said was, okay, I'll give you some paint. You can go there and paint it. So he gave us a fresh brush and the paint. So we took all the paint and the brush. Every Sunday morning there should be a project. So we cycled early morning there and painted all the beds. So I knew how much of happiness it brought to those children out there. And that was another time. There's a changing. I mean, all of us have these, memories which change us. When the blind children came and said, we're all young boys, but still they used to call us uncle. They painted the bed. Says every day before we go to sleep, we'll bless you because they painted the bed. Can you imagine that blessing is still probably on us even today? Small
True.
mercies, small things, nothing to do, no money, nothing great, no newspaper coverage, no media coverage, nothing. It's just that it's still so, I still have tears in my eyes when those children used to say, thank you, uncle, and then you almost fall at the feet and say, when they touch the bed, that's how they're supposed to sit, right? They don't know, they have to feel. So the moment they're touching this way, when the paint starts, it injures their finger or probably it goes into their nail. Can you imagine how terrible it was for us to imagine that this is to them. The beds were painted. So when you painted it, when they did this, it was nice and smooth after it dried. They went and slept on it, just a blanket over there and a small pillow. That's about it. And they said, Uncle, every day when we go to bed, every night when we go to bed, of course they said every day, but I'm just changing it. We go to bed, we will bless you. I said, thank you so much. You know,
Maulik, right side ge bunny. Your face is getting cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, because Dipankar is, is bloated so much that he's cutting my face off.
No, Mouli. Today is your day, man, not mine.
Yeah.
Just having fun, yeah.
Dipankar, tell us something about Mouli that, probably, something that you would remember very fondly of.
The earliest that I remember Mouli was he was a very dynamic guy. He would push us to do things. In fact, I remember once I was in Jayanagar Road Tract and he was in Lavel Road Road Tract. Those days, I think it was Center.
Yeah.
Road Tract Central. And or Bangalore, Road Tract Bangalore, correct. So I remember he was telling us once that why don't you guys? I think there was an ashram on near Wilson Garden, and I remember telling us, why don't you guys go and see the children's ashram and do something there. So that was one idea which at that time a president called Fazal, he was our president. I don't know where he is now, but Fazal used to be.
Fazal is the district governor.
Is it?
Yeah, he's the present district governor.
My God, can you share his number, man? I would like to reconnect with him. I've lost in touch.
Prithvi has given the number. You just get the number. I will send Fazal's number to you. He's
Wow, fantastic. I still unbelievable. I've gone in. I mean, those days his house was on Church Road in Basangudi. Yes. I don't know if it is still there now. So he then decided, okay, let us go on Raksha Bandhan Day and tie Rakhi. Have the children tie Rakhi to us. Most of them were girls there, small girls. So I mean, the kind, as Mouli said, the kind of happiness that gave to these children was unbelievable. And that I give that credit to Mouli, who pushed us to do something. So he was that kind of a character who, pushed people to do it. And then theatre, of course, we knew him into theatre. He, Bimal Desai, all these people were already into theatre those days, and they were our role models. Said, wow, even I would like to get into theatre. Hey, Papa, but somehow that never happened. Just didn't happen, unfortunately. But he was that kind of a guy. And the third time I remember was when I started business, Pranay Hydraulics. I went and approached him. And at those days, money was very difficult because we had just startup. So I'd gone and told him, requested him, please help us out. Please give me a credit for 45 days. He said, credit great. I will do it for you. You do it and you give me whenever you have the money. That was the first time I remember one guy telling me, State boss, you don't worry about money. I trust you. You come and give it to me whenever you want. So these are some of those wonderful characters that I know Mouli is. A wonderful person by heart.
Wonderful.
Truly, I remember all these things.
Thank you for the nice words. It makes my day. On a teacher day, I think,
Totally, man. Totally. I can never forget. In fact, Prithvi, when he put the chat show saying that Chandra Mouli is coming outside, I said, wow, man, Mouli, shit, man, I've lost contact with this guy. Do you have the phone number? Prithvi, please share it. I want to talk to him.
Sure, share the numbers now.
That's why I said no calling and talking. Come online, face to face, and just do that here.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Agree with you, Prithvi. Too good it was.
We should all catch up sometime. Otherwise, let us figure that out. You stay somewhere in between there.
We'll meet physically now. I think slowly, physically, everybody's meeting. My training also, the next September is going to be the last online training. After that, it's all going to be back to physical training.
Yeah. Wonderful. You still feel physical training is better than online?
100%, yeah, 100%.
Oh, that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, this I can connect with people where I don't have to go out and connect with people in Calcutta or Zimbabwe, wherever. But the fact is that, see, the connect that I have with people, as you rightly mentioned that, of course, I have the connect, but it's still in wire, no? It's not personal.
Yeah.
So you're wired, you're not connected.
I agree.
There, you are not even wired, but you're still connected. The connection is more important than being wired.
Correct.
My Toastmasters, they all say, you have all attached bathrooms and detached relationships.
Well, on this note, I'm going to just play a small video to show all of you what the finer side is all about. just to...
Yeah. Sure.
ನನಗಿವತ್ತು ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆಡಿಟೋರಿಯಂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಹಳ ಒಂದು ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡೋ ವಿಷಯ.
Wonderful to see this venue come alive. The sound great, acoustics were great. Thanks a lot to the Finer Side.
I mean, what can I say about this place? It's such an inspiration for all artists like me, and I feel like coming and again and here.
Great place, great vibe, great people. ಈ ಜಾಗ ಈ ತರ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಆಶಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
ಬಹಳ ದಿನಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ ಜಾಗದ ಹೆಸರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ದಿ ಫೈನರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗನ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
This beautiful auditorium, it's very inspiring to see how it has been designed for the sake of arts. So it's always nice to be here at the Finer Side.
Brilliant. Where is this, Prithvi?
So this is the Finer Side. It's an art gurukul which we have started in South Bangalore. We had to close our primary school and convert that. This is in near Shobha Forest View, Vajiralli. It's about a kilometer from the Vajiralli metro station.
Okay.
Just off the main road. So November to, we started August last year. November to March we had a good run of events. Then the second lockdown happened.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now we are planning to get back with our event. September 18th is some a music event that has been planned. So probably you should visit now this time. And all vaccinated people only. We have a registration. It's a 350-seater auditorium. We have only about 250 people will take it. So interesting. Dia, anything else that you want to talk to Mouli about? Mouli.
I know. I mean, I guess, that's, it's great. I mean, I'm sure if I sit with him, I think we've got a lot more things to catch up on.
Yeah. So I think we should catch up somewhere else to old times.
Many of the things you can't even speak on air, by the way.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Many of the things you can't even speak on the air, by the way.
Yeah. You are true. You're right.
So I will document it in a different way. We come from an era where we never left any traces. We never left any documentation. There was no digital signature of what we did. Unlike today, people know
So
where
true.
you went and leave. Yeah, that I think we should remain that way. Yeah. Thanks, Dia. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for taking time out. Coming
Array,
and
my
saying
pleasure.
hi.
My pleasure, Prithvi. Bye, Mouli. Nice
Mouli,
seeing you.
Lovely. We'll catch up.
Yep, we should.
Yeah, Mouli. So see, it's so interesting to get old friends to come and say hi.
I know. He's such an old friend. He's old. I'm a friend still.
See, that is your humor talking. I think he has more hair than you, so I don't think you can call him old.
Hair or no hair, I'm still very fair, by the way.
So I can't talk about fairness. So we will keep the topic for now. Yeah. So going ahead from Rotaract and all these things that you were doing, it was a different cultural zone at that time. I'm talking about the late 80s and early 90s. There was a lot of hip hop. There was a lot of rock and music that was coming in. And I remember meeting a lot of musicians in your circle.
Well, you see, what happened was at some point of time, we had to be associated with art and culture because, WQ Judge Press, the name itself, is a very old institution in Bangalore. It's not a printing press alone. I'm actually running an institution. Though this pandemic has set us back enormously by over, 2 decades, we have no choice. I mean, we are not the only people. The whole world has suffered this way. The
Yeah.
fact is that why I wanted was a lot of musicians to come to print their small brochures, their cards, and all that. Many a times, I've just taken only the cost of material because it's all run by the paper merchants who will never give me free of cost. But then a little bit of labor, I told them, okay, you can give me the paper cost, or you give me the paper, I can do it free for you, or I can just take the money for paper because materials I cannot afford. Labor probably will just sponsor it. So they used to say, okay, brochure sponsored by Judge Press or whatever. So I had to build my business. Obviously, networking, these what they call the networking these days. And those days, the best place to network was especially with musicians because they were the ones who actually didn't have the money, and I knew for theater didn't have money at all. So how else can I help being in this industry? And I used to be a event manager, so I used to get a lot of musicians over. And I said, okay, let me do my bit by sponsoring a little bit here and there. Not totally free, we can't be gratis that way, but a little bit, just the labor cost we can sacrifice, and we probably get it. And that's why a lot of musicians, started working on it. And Sunil Sadanand was, of course, instrumental. So he was a guitarist, so he brought in a lot of people and said, okay, Mauli, you do this. Then, of course, a lot of people from PLT.
Yeah. And you started some publication also for Bangalore, something, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Ramji
about the,
Chandran, another great friend and another wonderful gentleman, Ramji Chandran. We started the Bangalore this fortnight, which
Bangalore
talks
this
in,
fortnight, right?
yeah, BTF it is
BTS.
called.
Yeah.
Fellow from the
Yeah.
office, I went, I remember, we used to go door to door for 25 rupees advertisements. Yeah, 5 6 years it went on. After that, of course, they had to shift to web offset when we had only sheet fed offset. So they wanted to go on a web instead of the sheet fed. So that's how the printing was moved out. And then, of course, after that, they went digital. They went to
Yeah.
they went digital most of the time, and then printing was very less.
So from that to your road track to theater to BLT, uh, you kept yourself active in all different areas, right? That is to a certain journey. Tell us about a personal life, your life, little bit, family. Let's also know.
Yeah. So, when this theater was happening, I used to do a lot of trekking because of NCC. I went on a hike, live with nature. And I didn't realize, of course, I used to smoke those days. I used to collect a lot of cigarette packets. And then somehow, because of MB Krishna and all of the wildlife people, I used to go to Lal Bagh to run because Wilson Garden again, I used to go running. 5 o'clock in the morning, we always used to go for a run. Continuous stadium used to go practice. The school was there, but then early morning when there's no continuous stadium practice or anything, we used to again go back to Lal Bagh to run. There I used to do a lot of bird watching, and go to Sheshadri library, look at the books, and make a note of the birds, what you saw, colors, and all that, without even realizing that the moment I was in the printing industry, that collecting cigarette packets and bird watching made a huge difference in my life because my sense of colors, my perception of color combination, and with nature changed dramatically. So that's why I was very impressed with my work in my office because any color combination that I give, for example, burgundy and gold, which was Dunhill cigarettes and now then later India King, that burgundy and gold become a hallmark combination that we used to print. Winzamana used to pick up. And then the cool cigarettes used to be there. It's the aquamarine green with white reverse matter. So I used to recommend the headings to be in the same green color with reverse white and the matter to be written in black. And the matter used to look so beautiful. People will say, my God, your sense of color is fantastic. I used to always give credits to the people who have spent crores and millions of dollars on, cigarette packet, what do you call it, designing, all that, the color combinations. And of course, I don't have to pay anything to look at the birds because that scarlet red that we always, print. Sometimes we used to print a nice red, bright red color. It's called the scarlet red. I picked up that color from scarlet minuet, another bird, which is absolutely brilliant scarlet red over there. And they call it peacock blue. Why would they call it peacock blue? Because it's a predominant color in peacock.
Nature. Yeah.
Okay. So that's how we started, color combinations in the office, and that helped my business. And later, I got married to a teacher. I mean, a wonderful lady. She runs a TVS school in Hosur today, Srividya. We have a son. My son works for Google. He is based in the US right now. And, it went on. Got ourselves a nice house in BTM layout because my wife works in Hosur, as I told you. So it's easier for us to, very near Silk Board, the world's greatest junction, by the way. And there's less than those days, but not anymore. So it's easier for her to take off to Hosur Road because she has to go
Hosur
to
Road,
Hosur
yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
And as I told you, when Murthy's place, when Jagdish Raja also was there, they told me my English was pathetic. So I didn't know how to improve my English. The only way I thought I went to my teachers, and then finally somebody suggested Toastmasters. So I went to join Toastmasters, not only to improve my speaking skills, but also improve my English. Whatever I've done, maybe 1%, 2% is increased. And then again, being in the print industry, I had to be good in communication. And then slowly, when the internet generation started, when I realized the kind of abysmal communication, even today, that I get from a lot of corporate companies, a lot of industries, and a lot of my customers who come, their English or probably the way of their communicating is absolutely pathetic. Even today, terrible. So that's why I started telling many of the HR people in their own company and probably the purchase managers that are involved. I said, your manager doesn't know how to even communicate what he wants for printing. His instructions are not clear. So can I come and train them? You may give a printing to me today, but then you forget it. We forget printing aspect of it. Even when they have to communicate with some other vendors, for example, or probably even the taxi owners, because those days email was there. Yes, we got into email in very, very early and into systems in 1988, 89. We were all into computers. We had Microsoft. I mean, we used to have WordStar, and we had working on Ventura software and PageMaker and all that. So I told them, see, when you're communicating this way, you can easily put it on paper, and then you can always send this material. This is how you communicate. Then one lady says, Mouli, I think you must charge. Don't do it free. I told her 101 rupees you pay, and she paid. That's my first salary. That 101 is still with me here. My training one. This was exactly 17 years ago, 18 years now, 2003. I started communication. Then I started imparting communication skills to so many people, students, corporates, and basically communication. How you communicate, how you communicate, how you communicate. Of course, now it's become public speaking, articulation, and so many other things have gone into the training. Soft skills, they say, but in those days I used to call it smart skills. If you're not smart enough to communicate, 2003, I told them you're not good enough to communicate. If you're not giving instructions clearly to me, if I don't know what to print, your print will get delayed. Your invitations are delayed, your brochures are delayed, your books are delayed. We used to print a lot of magazines, annual reports. Everything needs good communication. And people have to proofread. I can't proofread everything. I may have a proofreader, but then you will have to read it. That means your English has to be good. So please correct them. No typos. And that's how it started. And printing and actually the communication, my training has gone along because of my printing industry, because of my print media.
So you also see a drastic change in the technology used in printing. Right now, in the earlier days, it was bromides, and the process of making artwork to bring it to bromide and then bring it to the plate and then take it to print. Um, the adaptation,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
how did you manage? Yeah.
Well, it's a completely process. I mean, though we say that we are a 70-year-old company, but the machines are many of them are brand new. In fact, I've just got some new investment in 2018, and then I suffered in 2019-20 because of this COVID and some recession. But then that's a different point. The fact is that we have digital press right now, but I still have my old letterpress still in working condition. We still have screen printing, which you can't do away with because gold, silver, bronze, for example, the three colors, which are not so great in digital. Whatever kind of technology you have, this three has to be done in this kind of screen printing where the quality is much better. So most of the wedding cards and things like dark colors where you have gold or silver or bronze, maybe foiling, for example, which is a lovely one. It's still very much there. Foiling is still the letterpress mode. Then you have the punching units. That's still the letterpress, but still today the quality of dyes have differed. But our quality of printing is definitely enhanced enormously. We upgraded our machines every time. Every 4 5 years, I probably go venture into new machines and get of course, not brand new
No,
ones.
that is the technology part of it. But for yourself and the labor that is involved, I'm sure you have people who have been with you for a long time,
Yeah. All of us
upgrading their
adapted. All of us
skills.
adapted. All
Yeah,
of us adapted. The screen printing, of
yeah.
course, is the same, but all of us adapted. My binders new, then sewing, binding is also the same. But as far as printing is concerned, yes, no more cut and paste, as you rightly said, no bromides, no negatives, positives. So we eliminated the camera, we eliminated the paste up guy. But then the paste up guy became my binder then, like this. And one of the other fellows who were doing my camera work, he suddenly became my screen printer. So we have not thrown people out at all, and each one has adapted to a different kind of style of printing. From my offset printer, when I sold off one machine, he became my digital printer. So, well, I mean, it's still printing, it's still the size of paper, it's a kind of paper that you use. The paper has not changed, the sizes haven't changed. So we are still adapting to that. The only thing, the process, the faster it has become. Digital printers become fast because you need quick copies, but then for a bulk number of copies, it's still the offset printing, and you need huge quantity. Of course, it's a web offset again. So we have not gone to web, but then we are improved ourselves, and probably we are just for example, lamination. We have got something called lamination on papers. That is outsourced, but otherwise we have pretty much everything in house now.
Yeah, my wife's cousin actually got a book printed at your place just recently. Mega Anand.
Oh yes, of course, Megha. Yeah, she mentioned. Yes. JP Nagar.
What was the title of that book?
Written by the family members. Yeah.
Yeah, so she put together a book for her father, and it was brilliant. We were so happy to see WQ Judges Press there. It brought so many memories back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good. So post printing, I know you have done a lot more on pranic healing and Toastmasters or motivational speaking.
Yeah.
This is more a skill that you acquired much later, right?
Yeah, as the communication skills started improving, I had to be a good speaker. Then what happened was, if I'm not a good speaker, people are saying, "Boss, you're boring. Yeah, what skills are you going to impart? What communication skills are you going to impart? Okay, you're going to say A, B, C, D. Then what happens after that?" So I started practicing myself, went to the Toastmasters, and then enhanced my speaking skills, public speaking skills, and then suddenly I realized that many of the people who were, a lot of people who are in the corporates, when I'm actually going there for classes. Concentration was very poor. They were not focusing. Just because the company said they had to get trained, they're getting trained. So then I found there's something missing there over. Okay, so I had to find out regarding that. So suddenly one day, one of my friends said, "Mouli, I'm going for this classes for the pranic healing." I didn't even know what the hell it was. Then he says, "No, that is like Reiki." I said, "Yeah, I know Reiki. I've been doing first grade in first division Reiki or whatever. I started doing it." He says, "No, there's no touching. You have the pranas, the chakras are there, you cleanse them, and then you infuse the energy through colors, and that's a brilliant one." I said, "Okay, let's go." So we went there, joined, I finished my advanced course, and then I started, when the people were there in the break, I used to just generally, cleanse their energy, pass some purple color, green, the slight pranic healing. I just heal them a little. Suddenly, when they came back, they said, "Sir, mantra marbidira, magic marbidira." I said, "There's no mantra, nothing. You told me you're not able to focus. I just worked on your pituitary glands. I just worked a couple of seconds. It's not that you create magic, but the fact is that suddenly you find some differences there." And then later, what happened was, many of the people in the HR, when I was doing the training, they're saying, I'm sorry, Mouli, this kind of training, these boys come, these girls come, unfortunately. And I told them, frankly, you see, they've been fudging the CVs, so you've been giving the jobs. Now, suddenly, when you find them in your office, then you're not able to get their work done. So what I would recommend is that I've done my graphology, that is handwriting analysis. So don't tell me he or she, or don't give me any names, whether left hand, right hand, they're written by legs, I don't care. Just put a number there. Just give me the handwriting. Just give them random stuff. You say you're talking to Prithvi that afternoon. He spoke about theatre. What do you think about theatre? Just like that, some random things. You went to Lal Bagh, then you saw, two crows fighting. What do you think a crow fighting means to you? Whatever. Random, they wrote and gave. I analyzed. I gave them the report feedback, and they were so happy. I think most of the HR today take the help of our graphologists, because many of the people are fudging. So a lot of people who are listening here will realize that if you fudge your resume, you will never get anywhere. I mean, it's not all our graphologists, but then practically you will not improve in your life. So the fact is that anything that you do, that's exactly what my grandfather had said. Right in the beginning, I told you I must learn a new skill, because if I'm going to be a trainer like at all, then people will say, "Okay, boss, you're also a trainer, he's also a trainer, she's also a trainer, so what's great about you?" But then, being a graphologist and a pranic healer with public speaking, motivation, inspiration speaker, with a print background trainer, I probably think I'm the only person.
Wonderful.
Why?
Wonderful.
Because
That's so lovely. Yeah.
Learn, upskill, every time upskill. And Jagdish Raja recently told me that my English is still very, very poor. What kind of English speak they speak? You know how Jaggi is, no? My goodness, he told
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
he's asking. I said, sir, sorry, what to do?
Probably he didn't understand the speed of your conversation.
Not the question of speed. He says even my enunciations, for a public speaker. But then
Yeah.
that's what I said. When you're talking, online, it's not so great. So many crutch words I use. What. When you're speaking with people, when you're connecting, everything vanishes. You become a different person.
Yeah.
When you're on stage with people, completely different. People say, Mauli, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, this is
The
not you.
energy is different.
Yeah,
That energy comes two ways. Yeah.
yeah. And
So
these
wonderful,
pranic
wonderful.
healing and graphology, I still practice handwriting every morning. And pranic healing, what it has taught me is that my energy should never go low. So always I practiced how to, regenerate your energy yourself, So that's why you got to be energetic every day, enthusiasm in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
heart.
Deepankar also was into some kind of this Reiki and all, because I remember he used to give us a little gyan sometime. Not that I have
Huh.
understood much about those gyans, but yes. So that skill sets are very important, and how you
Very important. Very
upskill.
important.
I think the word I will take away from today is upskill. So there is no age, there is no what you
Learning, upskill.
do. Upskill is an amazing term for today for me. Well, uh, post that, now since you're doing so many other things, what are your future goals to do? I know you're doing a lot of trekking, Manas Gangotri. Uh,
Yeah.
can you name a
Trekking,
few places?
frankly, that's exactly what I'm going to upskill the next. I'm going to, which I'm planning now. My goal future is I want to transform at least what 10,000 students and kids in the next 5 years. The fact being, why I'm doing all this trekking is because people don't know. I also realized this much later. The moment you go for a trek and come back, you're very humble. Okay. And then you know what you are. The mountain is there, but then mountain comes and tells you, boss, you are a speck, man. You are nothing. Okay. So what happens to you? So whenever you go to a trek or probably a bird watching trip or a picnic, wherever you go and come back, the kind of lessons that I learn is enormous. One is how to survive against all odds. You have to be more dependable than being dependent. So that's exactly what I'm trying to. Now, everybody are dependent. What are they dependent on? They're dependent on their parents. They're dependent on their mobile. They're dependent on, Swiggy. They're dependent on this, dependent on that. Everything. They're dependent on somebody. When are you going to be dependable? The moment I go to the trek and come back, I have to carry my luggage. I have to walk. If my leg is paining, I don't care. Nobody's going to help me. There's nobody going to carry me. I have to do it myself. Sometimes I have to cook and eat. Otherwise, I cannot walk. I may carry some material with me, but then how long? So I have to be dependable. And then if somebody is sick or somebody is there, I have to hold their hands and pull them along with me. I have to be strong in the first place. It's also teaching you how strong you can be in times of problems. And this pandemic stuff has really taught me that so much of trouble, so much of problems. I've also undergone enormous issues psychologically and of course financially. Workers are coming and going and I can't get my work done. Other people are closed. How to get my work done? But then how to stand strong. This is what I've been trying to now. One thing that I think the other day I listened to Roger Moore was speaking. He says you have a license to Roger Moore as a James Bond has a license to kill, but what are you doing? And then suddenly I frame my own word now. You don't have a license to kill, but you have a license to upskill.
Skill. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful,
They're
wonderful.
killing their time, literally. If people are saying, "Oh my God, I'm killing my time," why have to you kill your time? I remember from the school days, Prithvi, that you asked me now, what is my goal? That 5 years hence, I want people to actually live a life, not just exist. Every day they're saying, "Oh my God, I'm dying to go to school. I'm dying to go to college. I'm dying to get a pizza. I'm dying to eat an ice cream. I'm dying to wear these clothes. I'm dying to do this. I'm dying to." They're dying every time. When are they living? You're not living. I'm
Yeah.
dying to go to this movie. I'm dying to get this car for everything. So today I say, I don't dress to kill, by the way. I dress to live, not to kill. People say, "Oh, you're dressed to kill." Well, that's a very wrong notion. The words itself is wrong. Dress to kill. Whom am I going to kill? Dress to live better, that way. So these are the kind of things that I'm trying to impart now. My goals are going to be there, that I have to change the mindset. That's why I'm calling myself a transformational coach. I want to transform their mindset basically. I'm not going to change them. I can't change anybody. I just realized recently that I can't change. People are saying, oh, we accept a change. Then I realized, no, people cannot change. You cannot change, Prithvi. But your thinking, I can alter. I can modify. I can polish. I can transform. I cannot change you because a person is a person. They cannot change because people are saying you cannot change woman to man, black dog to white dog. No, you can't change anything because everything, it's a major, people, Sadgurus and, so many gurus are talking about all this. Everything is energy, everything is matter. You cannot change anything. Yeah, you cannot change anything. It's only transformed. A piece of wood is not changed. It's transformed into a sculpture. A piece
Sculpture,
of
yeah.
stone again is not changed. It's just transformed into a beautiful Leonardo da Vinci sculpture. So that's exactly what I'm trying to instill in these children. They're not able to understand, but well, my effort is on. Next
They will.
5 years.
They will. I'm sure we do our job, or you do your job of making sure that the message of upskill, the message of transforming rather than changing,
Correct, correct. Nobody
keeps
changes.
continuing.
Nobody can change me either. But then, Prithvi, you telling me this now, suddenly I can change my mindset. I can alter now. I say, no, I can come and, come to your place and look at how the arts is being done. I said, what Prithvi is going to do, what theatre is going to build was my thinking earlier. But you've not changed me. But then by showing that video, immediately I know Prithvi has done something completely different. Okay, let's go and have a look at that. It's for the sake of art. So immediately I said yes. So at this point of time, exactly the way that you changed my feeling or alteration, I can probably do that to so many others.
Yeah. Okay. So we are almost at the end of the evening. Would
Yes.
you want to give a message to I think we have Dipankar here. I want to ask him a question since he's eagerly listening. I'm going to bring him back. Yeah, sorry to bring you back, but yeah,
No
you're
problem.
eagerly listening to him, and I'm sure I'm going to take a message from you also. Your mic is on mute.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on.
I want you to also give a little bit of your thoughts about today and transformation. I know you've also been doing a little bit of Reiki. I mentioned, I remember you talking about it at least to us, and I don't know. You have to
Reiki
tell us.
master. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah, I've done the first and second courses of Reiki. The final third one is yet to be done. I think I'll do that probably in the next 1 year. I think I plan to do that. And incidentally, when you're talking of transformation, I think that is something which is also very close to my heart, Mount. I'm a process specialist in supply chain.
Okay.
Yeah, so all the processes cannot change. As you said, it can be transformed to something better.
Yeah.
So I believe in that wholeheartedly. I think that's a wonderful message that you have put. Upskilling or transformation of oneself is something which is
You have to
paramount.
do it. You have no
Yes,
choice because this is
absolutely.
that after pandemic, this is the new living.
Yep,
You cannot
I
go back to
agree.
your no.
I
It's all
agree.
history. That's complete history now. You can just forget about it. But
Exactly.
we will
And
learn from history.
you're right. In fact, keep taking that as a mindset. I think a year ago, I got into content writing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that is what I have upskilled. Now, I think that is something which all of us, I'm sure majority of the people today, because of the pandemic, have all gone through transformation one way or the other. I think all
Absolutely,
of us have gone through fire
huge
and
transformation.
come out
Yeah.
shining.
Yeah,
so
I must add
actually,
at that exact point that when talking about public speaking and all that, I just, don't want to mention the name right now. I went to her and gave my script, my speech, my final speech of my speech contest. And then she said, yeah, perfectly all right. I mean, your body language is good. You speak very well. I think you've improved quite a lot. Your voice is nice. Your gestures are very good. But Mauli, your speech is not good. If you don't be a good writer, how can be a good speaker? Because I have to write my speeches. Anybody, others cannot write my speeches. Can you imagine? I came home that day at this time. It's almost 1 year now. I'm not joking. I came home. I was sitting and crying in the house. 2 hours of sitting and crying because nobody has ever told me this. So that's my new learning in 2021. I think it's in January or February. Suddenly they said, "Molly, you don't know how to write a good speech. How will you be a good speaker?"
wow. So that's
Wow.
it.
I have to change now. So immediately I started transforming myself. I started buying books from, I'm reading a book right now on from uh, Stephen King on writing, and then A Sense of Style by one Bond. So Sense of Style, how you write. So he's giving a lot of tips how to write and how to grammatically tweak your message and how to communicate to people. I said with all this communication you see, you still have to keep upskilling. So that's my upskill now. Learn to be a better writer, to be a better speaker.
Wonderful.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
on this note, I'm going to say that the transformation has happened the last 1.5 years to all the teachers. Those people who are with chalk and board have moved to the laptop and they have become animators, they have become video content creators, they have editors, they have learned so much more. And on Teachers Day, salutations to all the teachers out there. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Dipankar, for joining and being with us. Thank you, Morley. It was a wonderful session with you. Look forward to this. Will be shared,
Yes.
and this will be seen by others. So there is a concept these days. How many likes did you get? How many people were watching is the challenge of keeping a tab. I always say that don't keep that tab. Don't worry
No
about
tabs
how many
required.
people watch.
Even 5 people,
Do your job and
I'm
leave
happy
it
for
there.
it.
Yeah, do your job and leave it there. People will watch, whoever needs to watch. Thank you. Thank you on that note. Thank you, both of you, for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Of course, that message,
Thank you, Prithvi.
that I'll tell you just one couple of seconds that
Yeah.
now the dreams have changed. So your hope is a living dream today. So you're hoping that everything will be better. Don't give up on your dreams, please. Whatever you're going to dream, that dreams change. It's not that one dream that I want to be a pilot when I was 10 years old doesn't hold good anymore today. By the way, your dreams keep changing because after the pandemic, I think everybody's dreams have been shattered and the new dreams are coming. Keep those dreams alive. Keep those dreams
And
alive.
believe, and believe.
And believe. Yes, you have to believe in yourself. Confidence. That's. I mean, I have no choice now. So my new dream now, which I told you just now, to be a better writer because I can't be a better writer. I never even thought of this. When you said content writer, immediately I said, "Oh, myself, my goodness, I have to start working on my writing now."
Yeah, true.
So that's my dream.
So on this occasion, we have connected printer and publisher and content writer.
Good one. See how it all connects, huh? Somehow.
Yeah. People told me you learned handwriting analysis because you're a
Imagine.
printer, right? That is why you became a printer. I said, "Oh my God, I never thought of that angle."
Wonderful. Chalo. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you
all
so
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Right.